Hello, YouTube. This is Mahadeva, the Thunder Wizard. So, as you may know, I'm sure you do by now, about 2 months ago, I had a red pill experience. And my view of reality completely shifted 180 degrees. And I made a couple of videos. I might have had to delete a few of them because to avoid censorship here in YouTube, but there was at least one or two videos where the title of it was, I was wrong. I was wrong about certain unnameable things. But it has to do with the elites seeking to take over the world and to lie to you, deceive you, and damage you in very, very real, horrific ways. And I was wrong, and let me just say again, I was absolutely wrong about so many things. And I'm sure I still am wrong about all kinds of things. But the moment that I become aware that I'm wrong, I admit it. And I don't have any regret. I mean, I don't have any regret over that. The reason why I'm stating that I don't have any regret is because I want to read to you a comment somebody left, which is worth talking about. But before I do that, I want to say that it's so extremely important that we have absolute, utter compassion for everybody that is still hypnotized and part of the biomatrix. And it sinks in my gut as I think about what is about to come, how much more deeply people, some innocent people, are going to be pulled into some of the really horrible things that are coming as a result of this latest attack upon the human race by the elites. I can't talk about it on this channel. If you want to go to odyssey.com, odyssee.com, and look for the thunderwizard.com channel, you can hear me talking uncensored about it. But we have to have compassion, because here's the thing. Everybody's reality, as I stated in my recent video, The Final Awakening, everybody's reality is a creation that is created to protect them. It is a cocoon. And we literally have two realities existing side by side. And they are competing with each other. In a literal way, there is a war of perception. And both sides, no matter which perception you are a part of, you believe, or in the case of those of us who now see the reality, we know that our survival depends on us knowing the truth. But the people who have been lied to, manipulated, deceived, and hypnotized, they also firmly believe that their reality is protecting them, which is why they are attacking us for trying to show them the truth. Now, I was part of that narrative. Maybe I wasn't, there was a lot of things that I had awareness on, but there were some really important things about the narrative that I believed to be true, and it was part of my defense mechanism, and my survival depended on, in my mind, that reality be true. So anybody who came in to attack or destroy that narrative, I either responded, as many people are doing, with derision or with outright anger about it. And so, as we all know, I don't have the best bedside manner when it comes to waking people up to the truth. So, the truth is that what saved me was literally somebody said something offhand about something that's going on, and I I went and I had some questions about it, and I went and I investigated it. And as I investigated that one thing, that started to open up a crack in my reality, and then all the dominoes fell. And because my conscious, to the best of my ability, is I want to know the truth more than I want anything else, I was willing to completely die to my reality. And it was incredibly painful, and it still is. And so now I have a lot of compassion for people who are trapped in that. So we need to be compassionate. There's no point in getting into arguments with people on the other side. Whenever somebody on the other side of this particular argument about, the reptilian anointing, whenever that comes up and people, whatever their response to me is, they get angry, they agree, they're confused. No matter what their response is, I always have compassion and I say, I totally understand. And I completely understand why you would think that way, because I thought that way myself. But here are the facts as I found it. And I hope you believe that I don't have an agenda here. I have no agenda. I have no need for you to believe or not believe anything. I'm only interested in your well-being. So having said that, let me read the comment, because it's really important that if you believe that you know the truth about the biomatrix, and if you believe that you know the truth about what the elites are doing and the very real dangers to our physical, psychological, and spiritual health and the health of the planet, then it's very important that you not do what this person is, at least in my case, did with me. So this person, I believe I probably must have blocked them because I don't remember them. But let me just read to you what they say. This is in response to my video, Final Awakening, December 21, K2 conjunct Mars and Sun in Scorpio. This person says, what about when you attempt to inform someone of the facts and they tell you to grow the F up? Interesting how time always tells. For my energy is valuable and it was my choice, so I own it. He goes on to say, if you can't remember, I was the microbiologist that attempted to inform you of the veil. I asked you to prove your claims. You didn't, couldn't, and projected. I also welcomed you to Australia, but gave you a warning. It does not take a shaman to cite the present. I want you to know, this is the most important part of the comment here. I want you to know that you dishonored me, and that was, is, and will be on you. Better late than never, yes. I do not require a reply, nor do I want one. This was for me and me alone, Thunder Wizard. All right? So, I had a response to that person. I guess I'll just go ahead and read that. My response was, do you feel better? I don't remember you, but it is very possible that you tried to tell me the truth and I responded out of my fear. But why are you now trying to shame me? Why are you not congratulating me for seeing the truth? Why are you not encouraging me to help others see the truth? Why is the only thing that is important to you now some ego agenda to shame me? Does that show higher awareness? Should I have agreed with you to appease your ego? Or should I have found out the truth because that was what was best for my survival? I do not regret standing up for my opinions, but it is very possible that I was incorrect. I'm okay with that. I was doing my best and I don't regret telling people what I thought was true. I'm in the process of conversing with some of my friends who are also incorrect. Some of them are very frightened by what I am saying. And you know what? I don't take it personally that they are angry with me, nor do I react when they become belligerent. That's what people do when they are afraid. The truth is very threatening to their current narrative. They believe their narrative protects them. So did I. So I have compassion for them for being afraid and for being incorrect. If they realize that they are wrong and they suffer for it, you know what else? I won't gloat and tell them I told you so. You know why? Because adults don't do that. Adults don't care whether they were right or wrong when it comes to other people's well-being. If they change their minds and they see the truth, I will be happy because I care for their well-being. If they do not see the truth and it hurts them, I will be sad. I don't care about them agreeing with me. I care about them being safe and happy. Adults have compassion for those who are less aware, and they do not punish people for being mistaken. So I am sincerely sorry if I hurt your feelings or offended you. You were right and I was wrong. And simultaneously, I say to you that if you want to prove that you are still more aware than I am, then grow the F up and focus on what is important. Don't waste time gloating over other people's misfortune. Ironic that my message to you is still the same. So, again, it's just, I find that shocking. Now, let me just say for the record, because it has been weighing on me, there has been a lot of people that I argued with and responded to in my own wonderful way. And I told a few people to grow the F up. And I told probably more than a few people. I mean, I've told a lot of people to grow the F up. But in this case, I said that to some people who were actually correct about what is going on, about the lies that are being perpetrated and the horrific damage that is being done by the reptilian horde. If you don't know what I mean by that, go to my Odyssey channel to know what that means. Those things are very real. And there's been more than a few people who've tried to tell me about that. And because I was committed to my narrative, and in my defense, what people were telling me just sounded so completely, totally irrational. And I pride myself on my education and on my critical thinking and on my desire to know the truth. I've also worked very hard as a spiritual person to not buy into magical thinking. I want to have it grounded in reality. As it turns out, I was incorrect. And I don't spend any time worrying about that. And I don't, as I've said before, I was wrong for the right reasons. And then I've said that there was a lot of people who were right for the wrong reasons. My suspicion is that this person was also right for the wrong reasons. But one thing that I found very interesting was, again, if you're now seeing that I was right and that I'm now agreeing with you, I don't understand why that doesn't make you happy that another person has saved themselves from destruction. There was nothing in that. There was nothing in what you said that acknowledged my worth or my value as a person. You say that my energy, this is you talking about yourself, you say, my energy is valuable and it was my choice, so I own it. Well, if it was your choice and you own it, then why do you feel the need to make me feel bad? Because you say, I want you to know that you dishonored me, and that is on you. How does that in any way focus me on the truth that you were trying to tell me? So that is, I want to encourage you to focus on your compassion. There's something else you said. Again, I don't remember you because, to be frank, there's no shortage of people who came to me with this same attitude. And that's what I was responding to. One of the things that I'm really good at is I'm really good at being able to see what's in somebody's unconscious. Their unconscious motivations, their unconscious drives, and their unconscious agendas. They could be absolutely correct about what they're talking about, but if they're doing it out of their own unresolved, unconscious, insecurities and fears and all of that, that's what I'm going to pick up on. And so I don't know if I would have told you to grow the F up simply because you said, do you want to look at There was a few people who said, hey, can I give you some information? And I rebuffed them. And I said, no, I don't want to read that nonsense. I don't know if I told them to grow the F up or not. It's possible. But I can guarantee you that if I said that, there's at least a 75% chance that it wasn't because you were trying to tell me something I disagreed with. It was because you were being childish about it. And I'm going to prove it because you said, I asked you to prove your claims. So first off, I don't know what claims you're talking about. And in my experience, whenever somebody says that they demand that I prove my claims to them, whenever somebody talks like that, it's always abusive. And it's always a straw man argument. They're not really interested. They're not asking me an honest question like, hey, I don't understand what you're talking about, or I've never seen that. Can you help me understand that? Because if you do, I'm going to go out of my way to try and help you see what I'm seeing or experience what I'm experiencing. But if you come to me and you give me this belligerent, straw man, I demand that you prove, it's incredibly childish to do something like that. So of course I said, grow the F up. And if I projected onto you, which I very likely did, but if at the time I was projecting on you and saying that you were, you needed your mommy and daddy's approval, I now see that I was right about that because this is what you're doing. This isn't about me. Because if this was about me, you would have said, as many people have. Many people have come on and made comments saying, hey, Mahadeva, I'm so happy that you had a red pill moment and that you saw the truth. I've been thinking about you. I've been meditating for you. And I'm so happy that you're now doing what you're doing. I'm so proud of your work. And those would have been the same people whom I would have told, go away. I don't want your nonsense. Grow up. This is your childish nonsense about your parents. But in your case, I'm right. You had the truth, but you also are now, wanting to shame me because I was mistaken. And the important part of that is that I wasn't mistaken about something irrelevant like religion or music or something like which meditation is better. That's irrelevant stuff. I was wrong about really important stuff that could have killed me. I was on the verge, whenever that happened, I was on the verge of getting the reptilian anointing and perhaps killing myself. And that's a big deal. That's not something to get ego messed up about. That you shouldn't, if you saw that my life was in danger, because it was, I was literally this close to doing something that might have killed me and probably may have damaged me in the long term. And if you were trying to help me see that, I don't understand why you're not rejoicing over the fact that you may have had an impact in saving somebody's life. There's a very real possibility that what you were saying was actually, not clearly it was threatening my world view. It was clearly threatening my narrative of reality. And there's a good chance you may have, chipped away at that. Because it wasn't just one person that said something. In fact, it wasn't consciously because anybody had said anything. It was because I went and investigated something in the attempt to debunk it. And that opened up a whole shitstorm of conspiracy craziness that totally changed my view of things. So I want to thank you for, again, I do want to honor what you did right, which was you wanted to tell me the truth. So good on you for doing that. But asking me to prove my claims. Have you ever seen anybody respond positively to that? Have you ever stood there and folded your arms and say, I demand that you prove your claims? Have you ever seen anybody respond well to that? Or does it, especially if they're mistaken or if they're wrong or if they're lying, have you ever seen that result in them, opening up more and becoming more willing to listen to you and hear what you have to say? Of course not. So grow the F up. If you really want to help people, this strategy isn't working. If you really want to help people, then you have to expect that people who have been hypnotized, who have been indoctrinated in a false reality, that they are going to try and protect that reality at all costs because they have a strong emotional attachment to it. And to take that away is going to be very, very frightening to them. And you need to have the awareness and the maturity and the compassion to be prepared for that. Now, as I said, I'm in communication with people whom I care about deeply. And I'm having conversations with them about it, and I'm giving them actual evidence and facts and giving them things to research. And when they give me things that come from their side, I don't respond angrily. I tell them, I really hope you're right. And I mean it. I really hope that they're right, because if they're right, then that means that thousands, if not millions of people won't perish. I have no need to be right about this, because if I'm right, the worst case scenario is that it could be horrific to a lot of people's well-being. And I have no need whatsoever to be right about this. None. I swear to you, I will be so happy if I'm wrong about this. I will be so happy. So I'm not going to take there's just no room to take pride in being correct. Because if there's something I can do to help somebody come to the realization of what's really going on in this world, which I was totally unaware of when you tried to talk to me. If I can help somebody become aware of that, then there's another person that can help in the fight to gain awareness and to overthrow the very real corrupt elites who are in the process of taking over the world and destroying millions of lives, billions of lives. So, my apologies if I hurt your feelings, but I'm not going to waste any time. And I completely disagree with you 170,000% when you say you want me to know that I dishonored you. How did I dishonor you? I was truthful with you. I was authentic with you. And I told you the absolute truth as I knew it to be. And there's no dishonor in that. That means what you're saying is that every single person out there who's been lied to, manipulated, and been hypnotized, that all of them are lacking honor because of that. And I don't see that at all. There are some incredibly intelligent, very sensitive, wonderful, beautiful, spiritual, critical thinking people out there who are innocent and they are sincere. And there's no reason for them to believe this absolutely, utterly unbelievable truth that is going on. It's more unbelievable than any dystopian science fiction movie that's ever been created. There's a really great series on Amazon I just got finished watching called Utopia. And it was written and then created. I think it was based on something else from a long time ago, but it came out just as the pandemic hit. And it's so accurate. But even that is not even close to the unbelievable nature of what is actually going on. And so I don't, in all honesty, I don't understand. And it's hurtful to me. You talk about dishonoring somebody. The person that you're dishonoring isn't me. You're dishonoring yourself by devaluing me to such a degree that the only thing you care about was that I, in my ignorance and my sincere attempt to help you, tell you the truth, that I was mistaken. And instead of, seeing, like I said, somebody awakening to the truth, that's an opportunity for you to come back and get some kind of emotional leverage over me by saying that I dishonored you? No, what would have dishonored you is if I had chosen to agree with you just to get your approval. If I had lied to you, or if I had lied to myself, if I had devalued myself to such a degree that I chose to agree with you, even if I didn't, that would have been dishonoring to you. No, I honored you. I told you the truth. I believed then and I believe now that you were childish. And so, as I've said before, grow the F up. That message to you hasn't changed. I can say that to you and at the same time sincerely apologize for shaming you out of your truth. I can do both. And I won't lose an ounce of sleep over it. So, my friend, I think it will be helpful for you to look at what it is to be dishonored. And if you were dishonored, it wasn't because I dishonored you. Because if you are secure in your truth, because the other thing is, one of the other reasons why I'm not getting upset at people, if I'm telling them about the reptilian anointing and the reptilian horde and how the elites are creating this digital biomatrix that is a very threat to their existence and the existence of their children in the world. If they get angry with me and upset with me and disagree with me, the reason why I don't get upset with them is because that doesn't dishonor me. I'm secure. I know what the truth is. And I'm open to changing my mind about any of it. And as I said, I honestly hope I'm wrong. I have literally, I have zero emotional attachment to this reality that I know to be true. Zero. If I could wind things back and, the problems that I thought were going on a year ago, what I would give to have just those problems go on in the world. But they don't dishonor me. Even if they yell at me and get angry, even if they say hurtful things or are unkind to me, I understand. I'm not going to, it doesn't dishonor me at all. So take a look at that. And I want to encourage everybody. My take is, look, I don't drive up on anybody. So, I have this channel. So if you come onto my channel, just showing up on my channel and commenting or being in the live stream, you're, by definition of that act, you are asking for me to interact with you and share my opinion with you. But in the real world, I don't do that. I don't talk to anybody unless they ask me. And if they don't ask me, I don't give them my opinion. So I recommend that if what you want to do, this is to everybody, if what you want to do is help people, then what I recommend you do is, as I'm realizing it, it was actually my teacher, is still my teacher. He tried to broach the subject. And how he broached it was that he sent some controversial texts having to do with the reptilian anointing, which had some really bad science in it. And I got mad at him. I said, why are you sending us this garbage? The science is garbage. And I said, I was upset with him. You have a responsibility. You're a teacher. You have a responsibility, not to give people this nonsense. And he said, hey, all I'm interested in is the discussion. I don't know, what's true or what's not, but, we're in this state where people aren't allowed to talk about things, and we should be able to talk about anything, no matter how crazy you're out there. And I want to hear your opinions, and I'm happy to be wrong, and I just want to create discussion. Looking back on it, he was trying to save our lives, but he knew if he came to us and said, you all have to avoid getting the reptilian anointing, if he tried to tell us that, it would have been destructive. It wouldn't have helped. And if you want to do something, do that. Say, hey, I read this. What do you think of this? And then let them have their opinion. And then if they ask you, what do you think? You can say, well, here's what I think. Do you want to hear some information that I learned? There were people that came onto this channel and asked me, can I give you some information? And I said, no, I wasn't, because I wasn't ready to hear it. So that's the way to broach it with people. And then, of course, do what you need to do. In some cases, because you've refused the reptilian anointing, the powers that be may point that out. So it's going to be, some of it's not going to be easy to hide. But if you know the truth and you are secure in the truth, that's going to go a long way. But the last thing you want to do is start getting destructive and belligerent and getting angry with the frightened people who are hypnotized. What's going to allow them to change their mind is first off, your lack of judgment against them, your compassion for them, your acceptance of them, and the fact that you don't get angry or hurt when they attack you over this, because this is bigger than you. This isn't about them attacking you for the kind of clothes you wear, the music that you listen to, or even your politics or your religion. It's much bigger than that. When they tell you how crazy it is, you nod your head and you go, I know. I agree. It's totally unbelievable. It's so incredibly unbelievable. I completely understand what you're saying. Then eventually some people may want to hear what you have to say. And then you can send them to, links, or send them to videos or whatever to be helpful to them. So anyway, those of us who know the truth, we have a responsibility to really take this out of the head, because this kind of stuff, whatever this guy had that was true, I rejected him, and then he went into his head and started to try and out intellectualize me, which, as you know, is not going to work with me, and it's always destructive when you do that to yourself and to others. I don't mind engaging with that in stuff that's not important, but when it comes to the survival of the world, I'm not going to, I can't, I can't say that I'll be perfect, but when it comes to this stuff, my response is going to be, I'm going to try and come from compassion. Because the person that is railing against you and calling you names, they may be on the verge of stepping into a very serious shark tank. And what would you say to somebody? Would you be angry at them if they're about to walk into danger? You wouldn't. You would feel sorry for them. So have compassion for those that don't know. Learn from this guy's lesson. Let's all grow the F up, including myself. I want to grow the F up. And when it comes to the reptilian anointing, the false prophet, the reptilian horde, and their successful attempts right now of taking over the world, I want to free as many minds as I can. And I'm going to do my best to do it with as much compassion as I have. But since this person is already aware, I can drop down a couple of levels and say, yeah, you still need to grow the F up. Stop worrying about being right and worry about being helpful. Okay, that's it for me, guys. I hope you're doing well. Go to my Odyssey channel, odyssee.com. Look for Thunder Wizard. And I've got some more stuff that I'm sharing over there all the time. All right, guys. Also, if you're like me, don't let this destroy you. I'm trying to do my research and make these videos about it, and at the same time, I have to take time off and just go and have fun and enjoy nature and forget about it because it can be so overwhelming. Um, so make sure that you're taking care of yourself through this time. Be interesting to see what happens over the next few months. All right, I'll see you guys when I see you.